everyone. How's everyone doing? Oh, uh, how are you? Give me Okay, I'm back. No, there's no such thing as liking Cthulhu too much. Nah. Okay. Okay, so oh Jesus. Whatever. No. Is that better? Do I have to spit it out for you? No, that's not why I like Cthulhu. So, okay. Technically, before 5.5, 6 years ago, I never even knew Cthulhu existed. And, I ended up playing, the first time I even heard of Cthulhu, I ended up playing a tabletop Cthulhu game. And I guess from the very first moment, like, I've actually never, like, we never gotten around to meet Cthulhu. But even before, like, I even fully understood anything about him, I don't know why, but I automatically liked him. I know it had nothing to do with the tentacles or anything like that. So, yeah. And okay, I'm done talking about that. I'm so done. Anyway, let's get on to the game, shall we?
あらあら。
Boston, 1924. Edward Pierce, veteran of the First World War, drowns his memories in liquor and sleeping pills. He is now a private detective who has trouble finding a case able to lift him from his torpor. Pierce now finds a new case quickly or risk losing his license. If I am mad, it is mercy. May the gods pity the man who in his callousness can... I didn't give you music. No. I'm playing a game. You gotta do something for that. I don't know what, but just something. I don't know. That shark. Yes, let's make a lot of noise. Hello. I don't know. Figure it out. Are you going to college? I'm assuming this one won't come off either. No. What am I hiding from? Holy shit, it's dark. You must light up some items in order to interact with them. I don't have any light. Ah, light. Okay. Can I? No. Nothing. Can't I just take the boat and leave? Oh, shit! What the hell was that? Why can't I just get on the boat and leave? Seems like the right thing to do. okay. Well, congratulations. There you go, that was it. Okay.
In my wake, pulled along, fate inescapably draws you on.
Alright, there you go. I said it. Are we good now? If you want me to say it any other way, you're gonna have to, like, figure something out. I thought that was still breathing for a minute.
What a putrid offering.
Wait, am I the offering? I don't want to be no offering.
Don't fight. You have been chosen.
I gotta run now? This is me running? It's not a very good run, is it?
Behold.
Ooh.
Everything has already been written. But perhaps you will attempt to change your destiny.
He looks like Voldemort. He still looks like Voldemort. Oh good, we're in an office. Don't go nowhere.
I hate whiskey.
Then why are you drinking it?
Been too long since I've slept in a bed.
Wait, no wait, we need
Been
the
too
key.
long since I've slept in a bed. Been too long since I've slept in a bed.
I guess it's not a key, I guess it's a magnifying glass.
I wonder why I still take these things.
The doctors prescribed them when I returned from the war. They swore they would put an end to the nightmares, but for a while now their effect has been wearing off. Oh, we just took a sleeping pill today.
The Wentworth Agency doesn't attract top-notch cases. I used to be an avid reader. Been a while since I jotted down something other than my nightmares.
Pierce Investigation Agency. The doctor can well repeat to me that I no longer need my remedy to keep my memories at bay, but I know that if I stop, the memories will return. One of these mornings, I probably won't wake up. Despite the treatment, I again hear voices in my dreams, but they are different, unknown. They seem to surface from unfathomable and ancient depths. What nameless creature is calling me? The Nameless? That's what? Boy. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Oh, is this for each room? Wait, no. I'm confused. Oh, wait. Oh, this is what I start with. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. Your ability to influence those around those you talk to by the power of speech, improving this skill increases your chance of convincing or manipulating during discussions. Okay. Strength represents your ability to call on your physical power. Improving the skill increases your chance of forcing doors or mechanisms or of using violence, physical or verbal. Really? During interactive discussion. Okay. Medicine represents your medical knowledge. Improving the skill increases your chance of determining the doses of drug and making a diagnosis or of expressing your understandings of a medical problem. Investigation represents your investigating talent. Improving the skill increases your chance of understanding past events by analyzing a crime scene or an object and a picking locks. You can pick locks with investigation. So. Occultism. Occultism represents your knowledge of the occult sciences. Improving the skill increases your chance of determining the use or origin of an occult artifact and of expressing your knowledge of the myth. The medicine and occult skills can only be improved by objects discovered in the environment. Oh, okay. Psych. Oh, wow. I think I need a psychiatrist. Psychology. Psychology represents your knowledge of human behavior. Improving the skill increases your chance of understanding the motivations of a person based on his or her behavior or on the analysis of objects. Spot hidden. Spot hidden represents your ability to find objects. Improving the skill increases your chances of finding hidden objects. An undiscovered object will not appear in game. What? How do I improve these? Mental trauma. Oh, wait. Sanity. Stable. We're stable, guys. I just got done playing a game. Okay, so I got done playing the game, and it had sanity in it. My character was insane by the time the game was over. Well, the game has like multiple endings, like very multiple endings. There's like I think 11 different endings or something like that. And I was actually thinking about playing it on stream to get some of the different endings. Fine. Tokyo Dark. Uh, confident in your abilities and your Cartesian mind, you conduct your investigation by sticking to the facts. Your convictions and your percentage of reality, your conclusions are logical and reliable. Edward Pierce is a veteran of the First World War, where he took part in the I don't know that name. Muse Argonne offensive. He is one of the few survivors of the last battalion, American units that suffered heavy losses from the enemy and Allied artillery fire, forced to hold their positions for several days. Surrounded by the bodies of their fallen comrades, without food or medical supplies, the soldiers were considered as lost by their fellow countrymen. Pierce is traumatized by these events. He consumes sleeping pills and liquor to ward off the nightmares that haunt him. Okay, wait, hang on. It doesn't sleeping pills and alcohol not mix? There's only certain games like this and like that I will play. I didn't find it too bad. Like it scared me, yeah, but it wasn't so bad. Some games though I just won't touch. Alright, you don't have any information yet on inhabitants. Places. Pierce Investigations Agency, my private detective agency, contracted to the Whitworth Detective Agency. After the Great War, I decided to set up in Boston, where there was no lack of work for guys like me. One small-time case follows another. Adultery, settled scores, disappearances. They are not are not actual disappearances. Old office couch is less uncomfortable than a real bed, and I should probably get rid of these empty bottles, but the place is mine for the moment. Oh, yeah. Okay. Occult, nothing. Clues, nothing. Aw. Let's say 2018. Huh. Lighter, my old lighter that I engraved in the memory of the 77th Infantry Division and the men of the Lost Battalion who fell. 10/7/18. Sleeping pills. The doctor prescribed them when I returned from the war. I swore they would put an end to nightmares for a while. Their effects were... Oh, okay, we got that. The husband understood why I left him. Yeah, the bar owner who hired me didn't like the way the case closed. Yada, yada, yada. Okay.
I'm listening.
Are you Edward Pierce, private investigator contracted by the Wentworth Detective Agency?
That's correct.
Hello, Mr. Pierce. I'm Lucy Sherifield, in charge of investigators over at Wentworth. I'm calling because of a problem with your file. A fire
It's
has
called
destroyed
Cthulhu.
some of our documents.
Is that right?
I'm so very sorry, but I have to collect your personal information yet again.
Oh, look, hey. The game's called Cthulhu, so I mean, whether you want to count it as horror or not. I thought you were gonna... Never mind. Spot hidden. I don't think I can... Oh, I can. Huh. Okay. Oof. I'm gonna do one of everything. Well, except for spot hidden. Yeah.
Thank you for this information, Mr. Pierce. Our files will soon be up to date. And on a related matter, may I raise a sensitive question?
What's wrong?
As you know, we wish to closely monitor the progress of our contractors. And it would seem you've been accepting fewer new cases.
Work is scarce.
Mr. Pierce, you know as well as I do, there's never been more investigative work than now.
But are those cases worth it?
They're worth not losing your license. Show yourself worthy of the Wentworth Detective Agency, and we might keep you on the payroll. Mr. Pierce, are you still...
I'm coming.
Well, he just hung up on him, didn't he? Or her.
Sir, I came here on the advice of a person whom I hold in high esteem, and I must say that I expected anything but a drunkard's lair.
You're free to leave anytime, sir.
Do you know to whom you speak?
Stephen Webster, industrialist and art collector. All of Boston knows you.
Tell me,
Is he the
Mr.
one that wrote
Pierce,
the
are you
dictionary?
capable of handling a new case, or are you simply a deadbeat inebriate?
If you come to me, it means you're desperate.
Nobody believes me. They take me for an old fool. Sarah, my little girl, she is dead. Even you must know of her. She was Sarah Hawkins.
The painter? Yes. Everyone knows her work.
The police accuse her of killing her family. They all died in a fire. Sarah, her husband, and Simon, my grandson.
I can't do anything for a woman who is already dead.
Find out the truth. They say she was mad, but I know that's a lie. She would never have done such a thing.
But if you have no proof...
I've brought all that I have. Look. I want you to look carefully at this painting. Tell me all the assumptions that come to mind.
What am I supposed to find?
Tell me if this is the work of madness. Or if, on the contrary, you manage to detect some logic, a rationality to follow so that I may understand it.
Is that all you want from me?
Yes, please.
All right. I'll look at your picture. That's all you've got? The painting?
I placed a file on your desk. It contains everything I have on the affair.
Good God. Okay.
What's this symbol on the man's chest? It's as if Sarah Hawkins breathed a message into it. A warehouse on Darkwater. Some sketches of the Hawkins family. Rather thin.
A shipping label. Some of it's unreadable, but what I can make out, part of the address is Warehouse 36 Darkwater. It says the fire started in the dining room and claimed the whole family. The police decided on a domestic accident, but they nonetheless insist on Sarah Hawkins' mental frailty. Why? An article written about the marriage of Sarah and Charles Hawkins, a businessman from the island of Darkwater. They live in a recluse life there with their only son, Simon.
So, Mr. Pierce, what do you make of these elements?
Okay. Yeah. Where did Sarah live? Find out about Warehouse. You shouldn't take this painting lightly. I read about her mental in the police report. Something not right with the story. Oh, God. What's glowing? Oh. I don't know, guys.
Darkwater. Never heard of the place. Where is that?
It's a small, remote island off the coast of Boston. Sarah lived there with her son and her husband.
I suppose you want to ship me off there.
Darkwater holds the secret regarding my daughter, Mr. Pierce. You must uncover it.
The sender's label mentions Warehouse 36.
That's right.
Glow in the
It
dark
came with
fish.
Sarah's last painting.
And you think your daughter could have been the sender?
That is what you must find out. Go to Darkwater. Find Warehouse 36.
The meaning could be exactly as it appears. I think your daughter is sending you a message.
That's what I believe, too. It was 3 months ago that I received the call from the police telling me of my daughter's death. And yet a short while after, this painting was delivered to my home. The painting is linked to this case, can't you see? You must find the meaning behind all this.
You must tell me if what the police suggest about the mental state of your daughter is true.
No. Sarah had visions. Everyone knew that. She never would have hurt a fly. She only thought she saw things.
Saw things? What do you mean by that?
I never knew what she meant by that. My daughter was an enigmatic figure, Mr. Pierce. You must find out the truth about her
That's
life
funny.
and death.
Radioactive liquid.
Her husband was a big deal on the island. But the police are sticking to the accident theory. Though they mentioned Sarah's mental state was fragile. I believe you are right, sir. This case is not as simple as it appears.
I am aware of that. I believe there is more to this case than just an accident.
The sender's label mentions Warehouse 36.
That's right. It came with Sarah's last painting.
And you think your daughter could have been the sender?
That is what you must find out. Go to Darkwater. Find Warehouse 36.
I think I'm beginning to understand.
I'm willing to do anything for my daughter to recover her honor.
Quiet down. I'm on your side. Let's sum things up. An artist dies with her family in a house fire. Your only clue is a sort of promontory painting sent from Darkwater right before her death.
Correct. And the rumors about her supposed folly.
Which you don't totally deny.
Find that warehouse. Find out the truth regarding Sarah Hawkins' death. You'll be handsomely compensated.
All right. I'll take the case. I'll go to Darkwater and look into the death of your daughter.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. I didn't expect any less coming from a man in your situation.
Something's queer. But it's not like I have a choice. Darkwater. I think I've got a book on the North Atlantic. I'll no doubt find some information on this island in there.
Okay. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. um, so we got to go to Darkwater. Oh, oh, look, there's something new. Learning of Medicine, a dense work aimed at interns and young practitioners. The first volume lists all the illnesses known to the civilian. I can't read. Civil of the world. It details the symptoms and suitable treatments. Can we read it? Learn about medicine.
I used to be an avid reader.
Oh. I guess I can't. Oh, what's that?
Darkwater is off the coast of Boston. But I've never heard of it. According to this book, it was often mentioned during whale hunting times at the end of the 19th century. But it seems to have been shunned since then.
Well, whenever I stream, my Discord is usually closed. I get it on my tablet. Darkwater Island has been inhabited since the 14th century and is still rich with many memories left by its lost tribes. But don't let the romanticism of these moving evidence of such naive and primitive beliefs fool you into forgetting how violent their gods were. A gigantic creature still orients the walls of long-abandoned caves. Was it a sea or a dream god? No one knows, but today's inhabitants, the sons and daughters of the proud well hunters, still remember the mysterious and tumultuous story of their small land off the coasts of Massachusetts. Okay.
All I have to do is go to the port. I just hope that I can find a boat able to take me to dark water. Natural sciences, linguistics, archaeology.
Okay, I think that's it. So, are we ready to leave? October. um, I think there's a streamer mode or something like that they have on it, but I don't know. Darkwater Port. Pierce took the Hawkins case. The cursed artist is accused of having caused the fire that killed her and her family, and only clue, she left her father a disturbing painting. On the ship label and address, a warehouse set on the docks of the island in Darkwater. The place seems to be a starting point for Pierce's investigation. Enter madness. Okay. I don't know how loud these things are to you, but on that one, it was completely maxed out. Like, completely maxed out.
We're almost there.
Oh my god.
Stay on board. There's guys coming to unload. Welcome to Darkwater Island, Mr. Pierce.
Why, thank you, Captain Fitzroy.
So, what wind brought you?
Does the Hawkins case mean anything to you?
A sad story that we would all prefer to forget.
Charles Hawkins may have been a landlubber, but he was a good man.
And his wife, Sarah Hawkins.
A nice young woman, and a great pain to what a tragedy. You know what? Go have a drink at the Stranded Whale. What you need is a good pick-me-up. Mitchell may not be very welcoming, but his bar holds a surprise for you. As for me, you'll find me at the Harbor Master's office. If it's the Hawkins family that brings you here, I have a pile of documents that should interest you.
Understood. I'm going for a look around the docks.
He doesn't want to talk to me. That's a lot of algae. I wonder what happens if I would just jump in the water. I don't know if I can. We can find out. Hang on. No, I can't. There's an invisible barrier. Why?
Please move back. Let the police do their work. Hey, Sullivan. Can't you go any faster?
You see how old this thing is. If we force it too much, we'll break everything.
The same goes for you, sir. Move along.
I'm looking for this address. Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
Ah. And so who are you?
I didn't introduce myself. Edward Pierce, private detective.
In any case, it's not very important. I can't answer that.
You can't? Or you don't want to?
Oh, no. I'm not getting into those games, me. Now, please, allow me to do my job.
You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming. Something real bad.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters! You're crazy!
They're cops. They can't understand.
Damn stupid idiots!
Forget it. Nobody listens to us anyway.
That's no way to treat an omen.
Oh, yeah? He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming.
The blood is just beginning to coagulate. It died a short time ago. Only a specialist would know what killed it.
That's no way to treat an omen.
Oh, yeah? He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming. Something real bad.
You can see that I'm busy, can't you?
You can't...
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters! You're
Apparently
crazy!
he won't talk to us
They're
anymore.
cops. They can't understand.
Damn stupid idiots!
Forget it. Nobody listens to us anyway.
That's no way to treat an omen.
Oh, yeah? He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming. Something real bad.
Okay. Now that I can think without them in my ear. Are you calling me a stupid idiot? I didn't lie. I don't like horror games.
There's something coming.
Even your captain told you not to stick your noses around here again.
This isn't your home, you bunch of sand crabs. We go where we want.
Nothing for you here
You'll
either.
get us into trouble.
Beat it.
You're already in trouble.
Come on, can we sort this out? You can see he's half drunk. There's nothing to sort out.
Yeah, I heard.
Prohibition is just a joke around here. That suits me fine. Hey, be careful.
I mean, I don't really consider Cthulhu
Let's get him
a
another drink.
horror game.
He's dry.
Or horror at all.
In my bar, we don't serve troublemakers.
Pure instinct. I behaved like a Hun, and I sincerely apologize.
Veteran, huh?
307th Infantry Regiment.
Well, that'll be okay for now. But the war is over. Try not to forget it.
I'm here for information, not for a fight.
I prefer it that way. Speak then. I reserve the right to answer or not.
Yes. Okay,
The stranded whale. I guess this bar has been here a long time.
What can I tell you?
no.
I'm a nostalgic sort of guy. The name, it reminds us of the golden age of dockwater. When our whalers left for long
you're
months and
funny.
came back, sweating and stinking of the oil and flesh of the whales they'd been hunting.
It was a tough time, all the same.
Ah, but steeped in glory. We've never known such wealth since then.
Can you hear them okay? Also, there's a difference, okay? I really like Cthulhu, so that's why I don't consider Cthulhu horror. Maybe it is, but to me, it's not. It's not that scary. What? What are you saying yes to? Oh, yes to the voice. Okay, never mind. Okay.
What can you tell me about her?
We all knew she was famous on the mainland for her paintings. Never understood why. Then, I don't want to speak ill of the dead.
Oi.
Her vision. Was it so terrible?
Way I see it, the truth is really a question of point of view.
What do you mean by that?
Do you still trust the truth after a bottle of whiskey?
Her style made her famous. How would you describe it? Tortured?
Yeah, well, it wasn't normal. I mean, for a young woman with a child and all that. We saw them in the papers and we said to ourselves, who can paint such things? Is that how she sees the world?
So they made you feel uncomfortable.
You need to see them for yourself. Make up your own mind.
I've got what I need.
Anything else?
I didn't expect to find alcohol on this island. What's the source of this miracle?
You mean who? Our source of supply wouldn't like me to betray them to the first comer.
I'll tell nobody.
She'd know it anyway. Anything else?
Do you know where this place is? Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
The Hawkins warehouse. I see, yeah. If I were you, I wouldn't hang around there.
Why not?
First off, there are rumors. Sailors from around here say you can hear noises coming from the warehouse at night. Screams, that sort of thing.
Screams?
And that's not all. There's the fate of its owners and all the superstitions that go with it. But I'll say no more. Anything else?
That'll be all for now.
Do you like our song?
We're true sirens.
We may not be pros, but we give it all we've got.
That's true. It's a reminder of the time when we were still fishing for whales off Darkwater Island.
Oi.
I've never heard this song before.
Only people from here know it. It tells the story of the miraculous catch.
It's a local legend?
Watch what you say, young man.
That catch saved our island.
Ah. Where's the proof?
We're the proof.
Without it, the whole of Darkwater would have died of hunger in 1847.
It's true. Everything happened just as it says in the newspaper report.
What report?
The one that's framed right behind you. Our grandparents tasted its flesh.
And it was delicious.
What brought whaling to an end?
The whales, of course.
Don't you already do
They
that
all
anyway?
disappeared.
You exhausted the stocks.
You could say that, yes. There were fewer and fewer of them.
Until the last, the biggest.
The one of the miraculous catch.
Exactly.
Turn everything sexual.
I bid you farewell, gentlemen.
Good night, stranger.
So long.
If I had the wings of the girls, me boys, I would spread them and fly home.
The miraculous catch. Apparently, the most significant event of the last 80 years.
This Gilead returns to port to save Darkwater from famine. We had given up hope. The crew of Scalia, or what remains of it, returned to Darkwater port late on Tuesday afternoon. The locals immediately rushed to the docks to welcome the last whaling ship to the island. People were amazed at the sight of the unbelievable catch the brave vessel had on board. What of a size that went beyond one of the formidable toothed whales, the citizen that is already being called the miraculous catch, covered the whole deck, and parts of it were hanging off the sides of the ship. The surviving sailors told a frightening account of the perilous catch, but also of its meat, unmatched in the quality and plentiful nutritious benefits. There is no doubt that the immense size of the whale will allow numerous inhabitants of Darkwater to feed themselves, bring an end to famine, of which part of the island was suffering. Warehouse for rent. Mr. Marks put up his warehouse for rent from June for fishing, workshops, or storage activities. You can contact him via your favorite newspaper or visit him on the docks. Special evening at the Stranded Well. To celebrate the return of our brave warriors, all the staff of the Stranded Well invite you to an exceptional and free tasting event. Come with your family or with friends to taste the miraculous catch. Each person will leave with a bottle of oil, so don't hesitate.
And then he said, "You have no right to treat us like this."
And the doctor, what did he say?
He laughed.
My God.
Ooh.
She will do it again, you know.
There's an asylum.
She won't stop asking.
Not that again.
Charles Hawkins was a heavy drinker. And a debtor. Interesting.
Weird. Let's break in.
What you looking at, stranger?
The clientele is predominantly male.
Tell me something I don't know.
I meant nothing by it. I'm just wondering what a woman
Time to
like you
bomb
is
the
doing in
place?
this flea trap.
And I'm wondering what could be going through the head of the chump who goes to disturb her. Let me drink, stranger. I told you to beat it.
Well, okay then.
And then he said, "You have no right to treat us like this."
And the doctor, what did he say?
He laughed.
What can I get you?
That'll be all for now.
Okay. What's this way? It's just the front door again. Okay. Oh, wait, can we go? We can't go out that way. Never mind. Here, let's go to this person. He said we can look in files, right? What were you gonna say? Yeah, I don't want to go through his stuff yet.
I've brought out the Charles Hawkins cargo manifests. They're on the table next to you. But in truth, you're likely to be disappointed. When you're done, come join me on the deck.
Oh, Jesus, let's not. Please.
I wonder what Captain Fitzroy has got to say about this woman, Cat.
Captain, the terms of our agreement are clear. Keep your men under control. You cannot afford to provoke us. No need to answer this message to make your payment to the courier, Cat.
Fishing equipment. Could do with some rust remover. A souvenir from a more prosperous era. I guess this blackboard hasn't been wiped for more than 70 years.
Wow. That's a while.
A Scylla. It finished up beached at the entrance to the harbor.
Is it bad if I just go, like, looking around at everything? The second volume teaches ethics and good practice to medicine. Medical staff. Do, do, do. Do, do.
This man and Fitzroy could be twins.
But he's missing a leg. In this photograph, a man who looks like Captain Fitzroy is posing on the bridge of the ship. He has a wooden leg. Nothing. Nothing. Okay.
What a macabre souvenir.
Well, we found the leg.
These manifests are signed by Charles Hawkins. But that's all I'll get from them.
Okay. Only a few dates are still legible. 1890, 1907, and a partial date. The rest of the document is blacked out. Who would want this information to be hidden? Oh, what the hell happened there? Ooh. Oh, look, it's a toilet. So I can open and close that door, but no other door. Okay.
Broken. This place seems half abandoned.
From here, I see everything that goes on in the harbor. The hard-working lives of my sailors, the fights at the stranded whale. Even the antics of these wharf rats don't escape me.
It's you who lays down the law around here.
Oh, I wouldn't
That's
go
funny.
that far. I'm just the last serving captain on Darkwater. Tell me what I can do to help you.
Your manifests have been blacked out. They're totally unreadable.
Yeah, I saw that. I've got no idea who did it or why. I don't remember having countersigned anything special enough for someone to hide it.
And why obliterate the dates, as well as the goods stored in the warehouse?
You mean that the dates have some meaning?
I know that Charles Hawkins was descended from a family of ship owners, and the island's fishing industry was hit badly.
Indeed, we specialized in whaling, but no whalers went out to sea after the miraculous catch of 1847.
So where did the Hawkins family get its money?
Well, from what Charles inherited, I presume. Although, these dates on the manifests could indicate that he had contracts of another kind.
With whom, I wonder? I'm looking for Warehouse 36. Do you know where it is?
Look, it's right there. The warehouse is opposite the jetty. You can't miss it.
Understood.
You know who the building belongs to, don't you?
It belonged to the Hawkins family.
Precisely.
I think that somebody here wanted me to search this warehouse. Can you tell me where the warehouse is again?
Look, I've already shown it to you. It's the one with the cop on guard duty out front. You can't miss it.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Understood.
Oh.
I was looking at your photograph.
I didn't see where it was.
Ah, yes, I can see the one you're talking about.
Interesting resemblance. I thought it was you, but with a wooden leg.
And for good reason. That's my father in the photograph.
Your father?
John Fitzroy, captain of the Scylla. His wooden leg is here. You can go and see it if you're interested.
I'm just back from the wharves. The dead killer whale is unsettling the sailors.
Ah, yes. Us men of the sea are superstitious folk.
Killer whales don't have many known predators.
That's true. And normally, they're not found around here. But, you're gonna take me for a fool.
Give it a try.
Have you heard about the depths? Trenches that plunge into the earth, and that shelter creatures unlike any other.
You're talking about mythology.
Ha! Indeed, you're right.
The police took the decision to put the killer whale back into the sea.
You've got to understand them. They didn't know what to do with it.
I think that was a mistake. Who says that whatever caused those wounds is no longer in these waters?
You think we should have kept it?
To look into the real cause of its death, at least. The miraculous catch. Is it a local legend?
Not at all. It's an episode from our glorious past. Go read the story of the sailor's return to Darkwater Harbor. It's displayed on a wall of the stranded whale.
I found a threatening letter, signed by a certain cat.
What? I don't mind you visiting my harbor master's office, but I'd prefer if you didn't go through my affairs.
Are you being blackmailed?
Not exactly, no. That shyster wants to make us pay protection money.
With any success?
I wouldn't say that, but she terrifies my men as much as her own.
Can you not do anything to stop her?
Don't you worry about that.
I shall be on my way.
So come back and see me when you've got something new.
I don't know where to put my points. I guess this one could be one. Apparently I'm not very good at talking to people, so I don't know though. Maybe that. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I said I didn't know where to put my points. So Stephen Webster, 63, businessman, a wealthy businessman, well respected in the Boston area. Stephen Webster came to see me in order that I investigate the death of his only daughter, Sarah Hawkins. Yeah. The man accepts neither refusals nor inconvenient truths. He is ready to do anything in his power to prove that his daughter was not mad. Charles Hawkins, 41, ship owner. Charles Hawkins was the local celebrity on Darkwater, the heir of a ship owner family. He used to travel a lot. He met Sarah during a trip in Paris. They fell in love, got married, and Hawkins took her to the remote island. In Darkwater, they had a child named Simon and lived in a very secretive life. Sarah, 33, painter. Sarah, a painter known for her tortured artistic universe. She was worshipped for the strangeness of her work and the rarity of her public appearance. I seem to remember that she once said, "I paint what my dreams whisper to me." Her marriage to Charles years ago surprised high society columnists. A wealthy Boston heiress known for her party-going chooses to follow her new husband and live as a recluse on the island of Darkwater. She disappeared from the front pages of newspapers, and nobody's heard any more about her. Even her death in the fire remained a secret. Only her father, Stephen, continues to seek the truth. Simon, 11, schoolboy, only son of Sarah and Charles. He died in the fire that claimed his whole family. Roy. Oh, he's the bar owner. Okay. Roy, 55, owner of the Stranded Well Bar. Roy runs the only bar on Darkwater. Prohibition has no hold on the Stranded Well, and sailors come to seek some comfort in Mitchell's whiskey. The man, therefore, knows more than anyone the secrets and rumors that inhabitants of the island exchange after a few glasses. Mitchell is devoted to the golden age of whale hunting. It is the numerous trophies that decorate his establishment or anything to go by. The man will talk freely on the subject of which he is so keen. He will be far less enthusiastic if one was to inquire about his source of liquor. James, 45, captain. James Fitzroy is the captain of the Charybdis, if I'm saying that right. The only boat that still sails between Darkwater and Boston. His base is the harbor master's office, from where he misses nothing that happens on the island. The inhabitants of Darkwater respect him. The bootleggers despise him. He offered to help me in my investigation. Well, that's nice. Yeah, okay. It would seem that the world has forgotten the very existence of the isolated rock off the coast of Boston. It is a small inhabitable island whose coastline is made up of steep cliffs and sharp reefs with only the outlet of the sea. It is mainly inhabited by the descendants of whalers who set up a supply post there in the 1800s. It was hit severely by the collapse of the activity. I think that the only venture on the island is that is still profitable as his medical institute. Oh, so the asylum is the only thing that's profitable. At the entrance of the port of Darkwater, one still passes in front of the shell of the Scylla, the last sailing ship to have brought back a catch. Sailors wander the docks looking for some small job for the day. A gang of bootleggers has set itself up there and is gnawing away at the territory of Captain Fitzroy, the last sailor to own a boat capable of making the round trips between the island and the mainland. Here, the golden age of whale hunting is but a distant memory. A bar where liquor is served with total impunity? Impunity? Yeah. It's the last thing I expected to find when I arrived on the island. The Stranded Well is its name, and it's managed with an iron hand by the owner, a certain Mitchell. He does not tolerate troublemakers and is fiercely protective of the identity of his supplier. All the inhabitants of the area seem to go there. I even saw what looks like to be a truce between the bootleggers and the sailors. What? Okay. Intuitive and visionary artist for some, overpriced imposter for others, Sarah Hawkins leaves nobody indifferent. This mysterious and reserved painter offers strange images with violent colors and wild strokes to the world. If her paintings are testimony of her vision of the world, then the world of Sarah Hawkins is a portal open to other dimensions. Extract from the notebook of Edward Pierce, private detective. The miraculous catch is what the locals call the last catch of their whalers. In 1847, although whales were disappearing from the fishing zones of the dark water whalers, the crew of the Scylla made a gigantic and monstrous catch that saved the island from famine. They still celebrate this catch, and an article from the time still decorates the bar. It's strange how the memory seems so alive, as if it was maintained by the survivors. Extract from the notebook of Edward Pierce. Okay, we already went through this. Okay. Oh look, they're done fighting.
That's no way to treat an omen.
Oh yeah? He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not sailors.
You live here?
Why did you do that, huh?
We saw what you did to St. Brendan.
Yeah, we'll teach you to come onto our island and ridicule our protectors.
I've never heard of this saint. Is it a local belief?
But everyone knows St. Brendan, the Navigator.
He's the patron saint of whales and whalers.
What happened to the statue?
Go see for yourself. He's at the end of the jetty.
There's you, our beloved statue, and then those two bozos behind us. Wait, now that I think about it, it's got to be them. There's one of them who's always going back and forth to the statue.
Quieter. That's all we need for them to hear us.
What brings you to dark water?
The two guys behind you. What are they guarding?
The bootleggers. Scum.
They're protecting their territory. From whom, I wonder?
They really don't have a choice anyway. They're more scared of Cat than an attack by drunken sailors.
If only they would kill each other.
Is it Cat who's shaking down Captain Fitzroy?
Hold on just a minute. We didn't tell you a thing.
Nothing at all.
That statue represents your local saint.
What do you mean by local, exactly?
You wouldn't be looking down at us, like all townspeople do.
St. Brendan. He protected whalers and fishermen like us. Until those assholes defaced him.
Peculiar house.
Yeah, that's where we live. Our boat.
It's not because it doesn't float anymore that we're going to abandon it.
Isn't it a bit early for alcohol?
We got nothing better to do anyway. There's not much work around here.
Fitzroy gives us a few chores every now and again, but since the whaling station shut down, ain't a lot of jobs left around here.
So we drink.
I've taken enough of your time.
We'll see you later.
Wait, so is this their house? Like this right here? I'm so very confused. They probably can afford alcohol because they like owe the bartender money or something like that. Because he had a sign, and the sign was about people that owed money. They probably like have a tab or something like that.
Come on, you could tell me. Who's this guy?
No idea. You better keep it shut.
Well, we don't have a clear conscience.
Quiet. What's with you wandering around here like a hungry dog?
We saw you talking to the two soaks. Go die of thirst, the lot of you. It'll stink less.
I don't know if I would be very good at lying.
So, who are you?
Are you stupid or are you doing it on purpose?
Everybody knows us on Darkwater.
I've just arrived.
Let's just say we're standing guard for the owner of the site. And we let no one enter her property.
What happened to the statue of St. Brendan? Dreadful.
What makes you think we did it?
We're bootleggers, not savages.
Who do you think defaced the statue?
What do I know? They could have done it by themselves.
The sailors?
Who else, in your opinion? And who's interested?
Cat. She's your boss.
What? You listen through keyholes.
She's the boss, yeah. She says who goes in or not.
Shut up, you dummy. You wanted to know that you also talk too much.
She must be quite intimidating if she can make two men like you tremble.
She redid the smile at the last one who wanted to get in.
I hope he had a good dentist.
No, you don't understand. She really cut him a new smile.
But he only smiles with the left cheek.
She made him into the Joker.
She sounds frightening, your boss.
And she doesn't like to be talked about behind her back.
I've got to enter the Hawkins warehouse. I guess it's going to be complicated.
No, it's very simple, in fact. Fuck off.
I don't give a damn about your racket. I just want to get into this warehouse.
And we don't give a damn about you. Whatever your reason for wanting inside, there's nothing we can do for you.
Why so serious?
I bid you gentlemen farewell.
Where do you think you're going?
Who are these others so interested in the warehouse?
And why would I tell you?
I'd like to know more about the Hawkins case.
I don't think so.
I thought that the Hawkins case had been closed.
That's true.
So what are you doing on guard duty in front of this warehouse?
Who's asking the questions here, the cop or the tourist?
What more can you say about the death of the Hawkins family?
Not much more than what everyone knows. I wasn't on the case. They were all burnt to
Dude,
death,
what?
right? Up at their place.
The whole mansion went up in flames.
Don't get it into your head to go wandering around up there. It's dangerous.
What do you mean by that?
The only one left there is old Silas, and the accident has affected him badly. He can be unpredictable, especially if a stranger starts poking around the property.
Is he a danger to the public?
No, he's in his own home. Do yourself a favor. Leave him well alone.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters! You're crazy!
They're cops. They can't understand.
Damn stupid idiots!
You saw what happened with those sailors. Don't hang around here unless you want trouble with the bootleggers.
This warehouse looks abandoned. Why does it interest them so much?
No doubt a question of territory, but I ain't asking. You want to know more, go ask the captain.
You need
Good.
info,
Thank you.
not just sneaking around.
I've seen the kind of messages their boss sends. You're not scared of her.
Of course I am. Everyone's scared of that woman. She's not interested in small fry like me.
Eventually
you, on
we
the other
will,
hand,
yes.
nose around too much, you'll have dealings with her.
I shall take my leave.
I already know we're not going to get through this tonight. Okay. Oh, good night. Well, day. I don't know. I don't know where you're at. Okay, have a good something. How do I...
It looks like there's a way in under this grate.
I don't know how to, use this. Oh, well, look at there. Ah. Yes. I plan on playing the whole game through. I don't know how to find the spot hidden. Is it just something that happens? I don't understand.
A handle. It must come from these old winches. This ratchet device seems to be usable.
Oh, okay. So maybe when the green is up, it just means that something is there that I can use that has spot hidden. I don't know. I don't understand.
I could use this old winch to lift the grating.
Oh wait, why did I do that? Oh, there's more? Okay, apparently there's more that I haven't found. Oh. There's a door. Can I get over there? I don't think I can get over there. But how?
A whale vertebra. If the newspaper clipping in the bar is true, this bone is a real fossil.
Hmm. Oh, Jesus. Well, yeah, I have a light. It's right here. Other than that, I don't have no light. I'm not sure how to... Ugh. I don't know. Mm. Well, that was the only light I had. Okay. So, I need to... I need to find out what I need. Do I not have everything? I don't... Oh, wait.
It should be possible to mount this cogwheel on the winch. Looks like everything is in its place. All that's left is to try to turn this handle.
Turn.
Damn, I broke it.
What the hell do I do now? Oh, thank you for the follow. What do I do now? I broke it, guys. Come on. How the hell do I get there now?
Well, well. A little mouse has got lost on our
Uh-oh.
turf. You're not only inquisitive, you're also
Hello.
stupid. What gave you the crazy
How are you
idea to come
doing?
onto my turf?
There's no animals in this game, so no.
I'm in danger.
Yeah.
Your turf? That's news to me.
For a guy who has no idea, you've been doing a fair bit of poking around. My men saw you staking out the Hawkins warehouse.
Is that against the law?
I'm no idiot, detective. I'll tell you how things work around here. I decide who comes in and who stays out. And anyone who doesn't respect my rules, I punish them.
Is your name Kat?
What of it?
Maybe we can come to an understanding.
Maybe. Or maybe not. Get this joker out of here. He might have a little trouble walking on his own.
Well, she took care of him, didn't she?
I'm getting careless. I didn't see that coming. If I want to get into this warehouse, I'm gonna have to deal with her.
Well, well, look who's back.
Did you miss us?
I have an offer that could interest you.
We're listening.
I need you to keep them busy for a while.
You send us to take the punishment while you go quietly about your business. What's in it for us?
What would convince you to help me?
There's only one thing that'll get us to move.
For sure. Bring us something to drink and we'll take care of the bootleggers.
So I can eat.
I'll be back.
Take your time. We're going nowhere.
They're still trying to get that thing away. How do you know I mute my mic anyway?
You can't understand. You're not sailors.
We're no longer at home on our own island.
Calm down. It's not worth the effort.
I told him, that flunky, that he'll see what a real sailor has in his belly.
If you continue like that, everyone will see what you've got in your belly.
I hope so. I hope they don't forget the lesson. Me? I'm not scared of some girl.
I mean they're going to cut you open, you idiot. Calm down.
right to treat us like this.
And the doctor, what did he say?
He laughed.
My
Nightmares. Can hear things and voices whispering. Will follow its reader and appear at various locations, gifted with its own consciousness, until it finds a new reader. Ah, that's it. Maybe we should let him take it. No. No, the risks are too high. It's a book, after all. Pure knowledge.
Well, he knows something.
And the doctor, what did he say?
He laughed.
My God.
You said
What can I get you?
Let's say I want to buy a bottle from you.
Choice is yours. Everything's on sale.
Cookie.
How much for a bottle of whiskey?
$5.
I guess I'm not desperate.
I'm not judging you.
That'll be all for now.
Coconut,
You have no right to treat us like this.
coconut chai. Gee. Jesus. Coconut chai, snaps.
You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming.
What's wrong with coconut? I'm so gonna get in trouble for that. You know what? No, I'm gonna wait. Hang on.
Forget it. Nobody listens to us anyway.
That's no way to treat it out.
You have no right to treat us like this.
What? Another break?
One of those damn sailors came looking for trouble again.
But he won't try again anytime soon. We gave him a good hiding.
So you said to yourselves that after such a feat, you could abandon your post.
It's just a little drink. We taught those guys a lesson.
We'll return right after. It's just that standing guard in this alley makes your throat dry.
That fool Fitzroy can't keep his dogs on a leash.
I'll have to send him a more clear-cut message.
Yeah. I have no idea. You know, it's usually always around this time, too. I don't understand why.
Hey, Mitchell. A drink for our new friend. I owe you. You don't know how to fight, but at least you've got guts.
Yeah. Aching guts.
Huh. I've got them too. But you don't hear me whining like a pooch who's lost its leash. You didn't back down. Something that I respect. So understand by that, if I catch you again, you'll carry a more permanent reminder of our encounter. Tell me, what brings you to Darkwater?
I'm investigating the deaths of the Hawkins family.
It's very nice of you to tell me the truth so openly, but it's also really stupid of you. You really don't seem to know the area. Let me give you a little advice. If you want to survive more than a day in this rat hole, avoid talking about them to the first people you meet.
To me, on my end, they're not, but unless, they are, I don't know. Hello. Welcome.
I've got a few questions about the island.
I'm not here to give you information. Mitchell will tell you what he wants to tell you.
Is that more dangerous than having a drink with you?
I'm not kidding. The old families, they were here long before us, and they'll be here long after we're gone.
The old families?
The descendants of the first whalers. These people truly worship their ancestors.
I don't know.
I need to get into the Hawkins warehouse.
You're
How
out
am I
of luck.
supposed to know that?
It's on my turf.
It's precisely for that reason that I've come to see you.
Are you pulling my leg?
Think it over. I've seen what you're capable of. And you didn't miss me.
I accept the compliment. Well, I see you're serious. To be honest, as long as it doesn't interfere with my business, I don't care. But I'll go with you, to make sure you don't stick your nose into things that don't concern you.
Sounds honest to me.
I'm not finished. If I do that for you, if I let you onto our turf to conduct your little affairs, you'll be indebted to me, and I guarantee that I always collect on what I'm owed. Think about it. I help you, you'll owe me a favor in return. Do you accept?
Do I
sure.
have a choice?
Oh, we always have one, Detective. Follow me.
Nobody questions your authority here. I was given to believe that Fitzroy stood up to you.
That dope tried to save face in front of his sailors. They revere their brave captain as they do their old statues.
I don't
But
know.
sooner or later, all statues get buried in bird shit, and nobody cares.
And the police? They do nothing to stop you?
The local cops? The cops drink like everyone else, sweetheart.
No, I'm not
They know where their
uploading a video.
interests lie. Apart from that pig-headed Bradley, I don't know whether to admire his stubbornness or to have pity on him.
I think it's just my computer, honestly. It's not my internet.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not sailors.
Trust me, it's not my internet.
It's fine. He's with me.
Oh, okay.
Be a gentleman and move that for me.
Yeah.
That's how it's done.
I don't know.
Do I still need to hold your hand? Or do you think you'll get by on your own now?
Don't overdo it.
Good. In that case, I'll leave you. I've done enough mothering for now.
Ugh, this place stinks. What is the connection between this place and the Sarah Hawkins case? What happened here? What is this picture of Charles and Sarah Hawkins doing here? Is this one of Sarah Hawkins' paintings?
Well, that's good. Oh.
It smells as bad as it looks. Who has enough money to buy painkillers, but stays in a place like this? Can't sleep. I know how that feels.
So we see the past. That's interesting. Tell me something. How in the world is it still dripping blood if it's been a while since they've been gone? Just curious.
Someone has settled in here.
And whoever it is has something to tell me about the Hawkins case. Is there anyone in there? You! Don't move! Detective Pierce. I told you to stay away from this warehouse.
Do I have brains? I don't know if I got brains.
You seem like a competent officer. We should help each other.
You're trying to manipulate me, Mr. Pierce. I hate to be taken for a fool.
All right, Inspector Lestrade. Let me take a more direct approach. Can you explain what this painting is doing here?
This strange portrait. Wait, I know it.
It was in the Hawkins mansion when we came to investigate the fire.
So you confirm that it was removed from the crime scene? Interesting. I'd like to go and see the mansion now.
Of course. You want to go back along his trail? I'd like to understand how this painting made it to here. Come on. My car's parked down the way. Andrews, would you please shut the door? And open your eyes, damn it. This guy went right under your nose. God damn it. Her again. This case has nothing to do with you, Baker. Clear the passage or I'll shut you up for obstruction.
Officer Bradley, you've finally grown a pair. Too bad you're too fat to see them down there.
Why, you...
Come on, keep the
That's great.
smile. You don't want to force me to widen it.
I like her.
Okay, I get it. Can we go to the mansion now?
I thought I'd straightened you out, mister. I am disappointed, but we'll meet again.
Is it far, this mansion?
Look behind you, at the top of the ridge. You see the building? That's the Hawkins mansion. Come on, we got some driving to do.
Okay. Pierce managed to get into the warehouse, the place thought to be abandoned, revealed some surprises, signs of recent occupation, as well as a partially charred painting. Interrupted in his searching by Officer Bradley, Pierce convinced him to join his investigation. The police officer is willing to drive the detective to the Hawkins mansion. Yeah, well, I'm sure it's not the last. If you really get me laughing, then yeah, I do snort.
Well, here we are, Hawkins Mansion. The place has been abandoned since the fire. There's only old Winchester in his hut.
I see no scorched trees or fire damage on the building.
You're pretty damn observant, ain't you? The fire was quickly contained. Old Silas acted as soon as he could.
Not soon enough to save the Hawkins.
They were trapped in the drawing room. And don't go troubling Silas anymore. His guilt torments him enough as it is. Are we gonna take a closer look at this mansion, or do you have other questions?
You won't get me to believe that it looked any better 3 months ago.
It's a very old building, you know? Its foundations would probably date from the arrival of the first settlers.
Huh. It's really that old.
Come on, let's leave the stories of the dead alone. They've nothing to do with your case anyhow. Let's go up there. Unless you still have questions.
I prefer to be prepared if there's going to be trouble.
It's a wise attitude. But apart from old Silas and some rotten floorboards, there's nothing to worry about.
You're talking about Winchester.
That's right. The Hawkins' old caretaker. Strictly speaking,
You
he ain't
snort
dangerous.
also?
But since the tragedy, he's been a little touched. Though he's a remarkably sturdy man, given his age. A true force of nature.
A sad old man doesn't worry me.
Gee, if you don't want to listen to my advice, we might as well go. Right?
Your partner, Andrews, warned me against him.
You managed to get something out of that bum? I'll end up asking you for advice.
Oh, okay.
He talks too much. He inferred that old Silas was slightly unhinged.
That's not far off the mark, I suppose. But kinda unfair at the same time. You know, Silas Winchester has been working for the Hawkins family as far back as I can remember. Charles was like a son to him. The day of the fire, he lost his whole family, so he's got nowhere to go. And, as you'll see, in a way, he's still watching over them. Is there anything else you want to ask me? Or do you want to go up there?
You're the one who looked after the Hawkins case.
Don't think I was trying to hide it. It's just that this discovery shakes my convictions.
That's why you're so keen to find out who removed the painting from the mansion.
Yes. If something escaped us, or if there's been a law enforcement error, then it's up to the police to make good its mistake. Anything else?
Night falls quickly here, and I want to be able to see when we arrive.
I'll go with you, if only to reassure Silas.
Why not? You can help.
Right. Let's go.
I laid me down and slept. I listened for the road of stones. Huh. Are we waiting for someone? Maybe me?
Poor kid.
Tis? Like the word tis?
Someone must really hate Charles Hawkins.
I told you. Silas Winchester is still watching over the Hawkins family.
I must say, it's pretty gloomy.
So, Detective, does this place inspire any thoughts?
Do you know if Charles Hawkins had any enemies?
Not to our knowledge. He was a well-respected personality on the island. I don't understand. Silas would never have let such a thing happen.
Why were they buried here?
I was given to believe that it was Charles Hawkins' wish.
Strange idea. I imagine Webster wasn't too pleased.
Mrs. Hawkins' father? It's said that he's devastated.
Let's go to the mansion.
Please give me a minute. I didn't expect to set foot back here after the burial. What kind of deranged individual would defile this sanctuary?
The flowers on Sarah Hawkins' grave are fresh. The old caretaker must be very attached to her.
I don't know if I have to wait for him or just leave. I guess I could just leave. Or is just gonna stand there? Oh well, okay. I guess he's just gonna stand there. Okay, wait, hang on. Oh, I found the little cabin. Okay. I guess there was nothing to see over here.
I'll have to find another entrance. This entrance is still in use.
Whoa!
Whoa!
You were trying to force the door, you nosy prick!
Easy, sir, all right? Put down the axe.
You know what we do with rubble like you? We gut them. Dump them into the ocean.
Whoa! You're Mr. Winchester. Lower that axe. Let's talk calmly.
I'll show you how we have it out on Darkwater.
You haven't forgiven yourself. You stay here to honor the memory of the deceased.
That's true. I want no more violence. No more tragedy.
It's painful to be the last one left.
You don't know how right you are. Understood. I'm listening.
The police report describes a domestic accident, but Stephen Webster has several reasons to believe that this may not be the case.
Webster is as stubborn as an old mule. And I did tell him that we should let the dead rest in peace.
He wants to restore the reputation of his daughter. I just need to see where the fire started.
No, I can't let you in. The mansion isn't safe.
That's why you barricaded the entrance.
That's right.
And this door?
It's locked, and I make sure it stays that way.
No one lives in the mansion, and you don't take care of it anymore. If you have a good reason to be here, I'm listening.
There's vermin. I keep an eye out.
Vermin?
Yeah, that's it, vermin.
Right. This is what we're going to do. I go inside, and I promise that I'll hunt vermin. Okay with you?
I'm not sure.
If there's nothing else to fear, you can give me that key.
Right. Take the key and do what you have to do. Go on, then. Just to get rid of you.
Let's see what more I can learn from this mansion.
Pierce, shall we enter?
Now that you've finished your fun and games with Silas, we can perhaps inspect the mansion.
You're right. Let's go.
Excuse me. He was supposed to be with me the whole time, but he wasn't.
Let's take a look inside.
I'm with you.
Pierce and Officer Bradley explore the gardens of the Hawkins mansion. The family lies in the graveyard of the property, guarded by Silas Winchester, the old caretaker. Still faithful to his employers, keeps watch on the place armed with his axe. Pierce and Bradley manage to calm him down and finally get a hold of the key to the Hawkins mansion. They enter the building looking for the scene of the fire.
Follow me. I know the place.
Oh, Jesus.
Who left this light on?
Oh, that's cool. It's so dark.
The Last Supper of the Hawkins. What does this tell me? What kind of meat is this? This place is for the head of the family, Charles Hawkins. The boy was probably here. smashed his plate on the floor. Sarah Hawkins' plate. Why did she leave it untouched? Something happened at this table. An argument?
Hey, Pierce. Daydreaming again?
Working, officer. This dinner table tells us a lot about the Hawkins family life.
Well, we don't have all day. The scene of the fire is next door.
What?
Silas managed to bring the fire under control.
I'm not sure. Why? We might not. I mean, usually I wait till it gets closer to the time I'm gonna end the stream and then yeah. Hello. How are you? Oh, there's a dead mouse. Maybe they were poisoned.
Sarah Hawkins and little Simon. The perfect picture of the middle-class family.
Middle class? They live in a freaking mansion. How is that middle class? Anyway, did you want to raid someone? Oh, I guess I can't leave the lighter on too long, huh?
Let's see if I can find something the cops missed. Did someone escape the fire? The child's corpse left a trace. Where are the others? They had a fight. Why?
I can't get to it. Okay.
Was Charles Hawkins a heavy drinker? Did it stop at the time of the fire?
So that would put it at what, 10 o'clock?
If the painting I found on the docks really came from here, how come it didn't burn?
That's good.
Blood. This lamp was thrown. This was no accident. This was a fight.
That's a lot of streamers.
Someone fell here. A desperate attempt to flee. And the boy.
So, Detective, what do you make of it?
I firmly believe this fire was more than just an accident.
Huh. What's your theory?
I think the Hawkins couple got into a fight.
You sure of that?
There's only one way to be sure.
I just ask that you don't disturb anything. If Chief West found out about what we're doing, I'd be in serious trouble.
This door is locked.
This collection of medical knowledge and health practices in the 18th century actually only covers the so-called... It does not deal with the influence of holistic medicine or medicines from continents considered inferior. Oh, thank you for the follow.
These bandages are covered in dried blood. But whose?
I mean, they kind of look like the same ones from the warehouse place. Hello, how are you? I'm doing good.
The lyrics of the drunken sailor, a sea shanty. This door is blocked from the outside.
Oh, that's the front door. Okay. That makes sense.
An original edition of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, dated 1818. Moby Dick, Melville's classic. The epic battle between man and whale. Mandatory reading for any whaler, I guess.
It reminds me of that song. Hmm. Oh, man.
A book on the first inhabitants of the island. It seems they got here around the 14th century.
Oh, that's creepy. Oh, that's so creepy. Why? What does that mean? Why don't you get something to eat? A precise and very detailed treatise on the particularities of the human body compared to the animal world. Yeah. My favorite is actually Cthulhu himself. I don't know, there's something about him. And no, it's not the tentacles, Jordan. It's not. The simplicity of its writing and the vulgarization of its vocabulary make it accessible to the profane. Yeah, uh-huh. I know what you're thinking. That's why I said that. Mm-hmm. Put the lighter away. No, put it away. There we go. Oh, hey, light.
Greek mythology. Hecate, goddess of the dead, daughter of Tartarus, and mother of Scylla. Dark water history. This place was settled back in 1692 by two families that seceded from the New England colonies. A book on hunting whales, the island's staple diet last century. There's something disturbing about this painting.
There is? I don't see it.
"20,000 Leagues Under the Sea." Another story about the mysteries of the deep.
I'm gonna get lost in this mansion. I know it.
What could Sarah have done to make this person threaten to call the police?
Dear sir, as you know, I've always held you and your family in high respect. Unfortunately, I can no longer continue to close my eyes on the behavior of your wife. Last week, she again terrified my clientele. I know that she means no harm, but you should place her in the care of Dr. Fuller. He alone seems to be able to make her come to her senses. If these disturbances were to recur, believe me that although it would feel like torture, I would be obligated to involve the police. Respectfully yours, Anton Wellard. Wellard? Yeah. Uh,
This piano is in disrepair. Looks like the Hawkins kept it more for decoration than for music. What do you know about Charles Hawkins' activities?
Well, not much, to be honest. We all assumed the Hawkins lived on Charles's inheritance. If you're right, we should be able to find clues among the Hawkins' personal effects. Did you hear that?
What do you know about Charles Hawkins' activities?
Well, not much, to be honest. We all assumed the Hawkins lived on Charles's inheritance.
right. What?
Locked. The boys' room. child's fort. From what threat was Simon protecting his world? Tom Sawyer, Mark Twain. Sarah must have read it to him before bed. Sleeping pills. Strong for an 11-year-old boy. What was wrong with this family? What nightmarish vision could have inspired them? Simon's troubles went beyond family problems. That kid saw something. Something terrified him.
So, I don't know if you can hear it, but to me it sounds like there's like, I don't know, a knocking.
What will her room reveal about her?
No. It's in the game, Jesus.
Barbiturates. Sarah Hawkins must have been extremely agitated resorting to such a treatment.
They act as a depressant of the nervous system, but once you begin, you can never live without them. Of that I know something.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, because that's what you want to walk in and see.
This ledger lists all of the paintings Sarah Hawkins sold. It seems the last one was given for free to a Francis Sanders. I wonder why.
Hmm. Why does the cop get the big lantern and I only get the lighter? Ugh.
This door is locked.
Oh, thank God.
If you're right, we should be able to find clues among the Hawkins' personal effects.
There's still more that I haven't found.
An original edition of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, dated 1818. The lyrics of the drunken sailor, a sea shanty. This door is locked.
Don't I have a key? 5. Oh, 5. Okay. See, that's what I was saying. I don't know. Okay. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so I have 2 sets of keys. I can't up that. Okay, so I can't, medicine and alcohol, I can only, get from interacting with things in the environment. Thank you. Yeah, alcohol and medicine, whenever I find the books, it helps with the medicine. But with alcohol, it's with the different environments and stuff. What face? What face thing? Thank you, by the way. What face thing? Are you talking about them? Mm. Okay. So, somewhere around here has got to be something.
They seem happy, but Charles is already looking off into the future. His marriage just a stop along the way. Was Charles Hawkins some kind of explorer?
Charles Hawkins poses like an explorer in front of an exotic ruin. It is common knowledge that he wasted away his fortune on expensive trips. What was he looking for?
Too much rubble. I'll find an easier way.
So I can only assume that the banging of the door is coming from the attic. Because, you know, attics, they're not common at all in horror games. No. There's so many lanterns around, you'd think I'd be able to frickin' pick one up and go, but no. I swear I've done everything.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it. I don't have a key to get up there, though. So do I have to, like... Oh, wait.
This place was falling apart long before the fire.
Hmm. Do I have to, like... go outside to the guy, the caretaker? I'm not sure what to do. I mean, they're portable. Yeah. They're back. Okay, so I got no idea what to do. We might, go to the caretaker next or whatever. I don't know. But for right now, I am going to stop. Am I going to raid anyone? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Depends on how much you piss me off, I guess. Oh, anyway. Bye. I might raid someone, but I mean, I don't know yet. You really don't want me to, trust me. I mean, if so, I might ban you. That's how much it can be. So, I mean, you never know. I guess. But anyway. Well, then don't make me become a bitch. If that's all there is to it. Maybe I'll have more ideas whenever I come back. Ah, Jesus. But anyway. Okay. No, I'm not gonna raid anyone tonight. Ta-da! Hey, I have that as my background. Alright, but anyway. I hope you all have a good night, and I will be back tomorrow with more Cthulhu. Yeah. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.